And I am curious, cat. That is a good tent. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be unboxing the 4x4 Gorilla Grow tent that was sent to me by Grow Industries, other known as Gorilla Grow tent. This is a pretty heavy tent. This is probably going to be my biggest tent I have. So we're going to pretty much unbox it and set it up. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start unboxing this Grow tent. So I do have my razor here, and you do want to be careful when you cut open the box, as the contents are, fragile and will rip. I'm pretty sure they have a piece of cardboard up top to prevent you from cutting into the tent. Yep. So this is the strip I was talking about to prevent you from cutting through the tent. You still can cut through the tent if you cut through the strip. Seems to be a nice little handy bag thing, duffel bag. I assume this is where the actual fabric of the tent is in. We'll actually end up putting this right there. Okay. And then you do get your instruction manual. A nice little 10% discount code for Kind and Lotus nutrients. So you get two of them. You get 20% off Lotus and 10% off Kind, which is pretty cool. And then pretty much the other things are going to be just your poles. These are your C poles. These are the C plus poles. I think these are just the extensions. Yeah, I think these are the 1 foot extensions for the Grow tent itself. This is a support pole up top. These are the E's. You have the B poles. And I'm not too sure what the poles are for, like what poles go where. Obviously, I'm going to read the instruction manual. But this is just what it is. These are the A poles. And for poles, the last of them are more A poles. Then besides the poles, you do have these little corner pieces. I'm assuming these are just for the top and bottom. Just connect all the posts together. And then that pretty much is it for the contents of the box. So let's put this away and let's set up this tent. Alright, now it's time to assemble this tent. So the first step is going to be to unpack this little duffel bag and take everything out, make sure all the components are here. The skirt, the tent itself, the extension piece, the ceiling, and the little drip pan. But let's start let's start taking all this stuff off. I don't know if I should say unwrapping or what, considering I already unboxed the actual package. So this, I'm gonna assume, is the floor. I'm not too sure. I still do have to go over everything and pretty much just see what's here. I think this is the extension for the top of the tent. This might actually be the floor pan. And then this massive thing, I'm going to assume, is the actual tent itself. Now, I really do like this this little duffel bag thing they have. It's actually pretty cool. Even inside it says Gorilla Grow tent. So that's pretty cool. But we're going to put this off to the side. Alright, so let's start unpacking this. I've never set one of these up before, so I pretty much have no idea what I'm doing. But we're both in the same boat, I guess. So let's unpack this. So I know essentially we want to find the floor. Once we find the floor, we'll be able to. I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me over the tent itself, but so pretty much we want to find the floor. After we find the floor, we'll lay it down and spread the tent out, and then start putting the poles inside and assemble it like that. So just give me a second while I kind of unfold this. It is going to make a lot of noise considering my mic is on my shirt. So let's have at it. So just a quick little update. We are looking for the 2 doors. That's the front of the tent, and that is what I'm looking for. I haven't found it yet, so just bear with me. Here's one door. So this is one corner. I'm assuming. And I don't know if I said 2 doors. I might have just meant to say 1 door because this is the 4x4 tent. I think that the 4x8 tent is the one that has the 2 doors. But I think I did end up finding. Oh, you know what? You know, even unzipping this, the zipper quality is actually pretty impressive. Like, this is probably the biggest zipper I've ever seen on a grow tent. I'm actually going to take my shoes off because I just don't want to get the inside of the tent dirty. So you do want to unzip this tent pretty much all the way. And then kind of put everything off to the side. This will allow for the easiest like kind of assembly of the tent. Alright, so that's pretty much what you're trying to get. I know it kind of looks like crap right now just because I don't have that much room, but now we do want to get the floor into the tent and then work our way up. So let's do that. I am going to check the instructions just because I'm not perfect. And if you can build this without it, good for you. I can't. Alright, so what we want to do next is get our A's and then line them up on the tent. The A's are going to be the floor and the top of the tent. So let's just unpack this. Oops. Don't mind my dogs. They just freak out whenever they hear noise. Well, I guess that's how you break in the new tent, is you drop something. And then we are going to want these little corner pieces. Alright, so my shoes are coming off again, and I'm hopping in here. So now what we want to do is just kind of set these up on the corners. Now, when you're setting these up, you do want to make sure that so the piece that has 2 holes, this is your top piece, and these are the bottoms. You can also tell because the bottoms have that little black slider thing on them. You do want to make sure everything is lined up correctly, as these are the corners, and it's not going to work if this one's facing up and this one's facing down. So let's start just assembling these A's into these corner pieces. And you do want to do the same thing for the tops, but that is getting ahead of ourselves, so let's just continue with this for the time being. And like I said, I've never assembled one of these Gorilla Grow tents. I've assembled a Vivison Grow tent and all that, but I've never done a 4x4. And I also heard that these are actually pretty diesel when it comes to like grow tents. And honestly, just looking at it, it looks like it's a pretty diesel tent. Even the zipper, like I mentioned before, the zipper is probably one of the biggest zippers I've ever seen for a grow tent, and that's saying something. Alright, so now we do want to get this in here. And this tent is going to be a little tight at first, just because when they build these tents, they do make it so it will stretch a bit. So when putting the tent inside, you do want to just be a little careful not to rip the seams and stuff. I know the pieces aren't like sharp, but you will rip the tent if you're not careful. You would rip any tent if you weren't careful. But all right, so now that we got the A set up on the bottom, you can kind of see I have a little like walking area. The corners are more lifted up. And I'm sorry, I'm using the cheat sheet because can't build one without it. So now we do want to get the B's and the C's and attach them. And like I mentioned before, the C pluses are just pretty much for just the extension pole. This is another thing of A's, so I'll leave that off to the side. Here are the B's. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the extensions, just because I don't know if it'll fit in my ceiling. I think I have like 7'5" ceilings or something like that. But this should be nice and simple. Just put your tent in. Sorry, I was checking something, guys. Yep, so now just put your B's into your corner pieces. I am pretty excited to have this tent set up. I'm going to be growing a bunch of autoflowers in here, which is a first for me because I don't think I've actually ever grown any autoflowers. So that will be interesting. But once the B's are in place, we're now going to grab the C's. From the looks of it, sorry, I'm just unwrapping this. I don't think my voice is going to be louder than this stuff. Like I was saying, I don't think I'm going to be putting in the extensions just because this tent is pretty much already at the top. So this would be kind of interesting to see how I even get the tent in here, but we'll see. That is a big tent. Alright, but I do know where I'll end up putting the tent, so it's not a big deal. So next, we do need these little corner pieces, because like I said, I'm not using the C+ extensions on them just because it won't fit. Like, I generally don't have the room for it. If I did, I would totally use the extension. But I've been doing pretty good with my 7-foot ceilings. So it's like it's about 7 feet. So I think I should be good for the time being without using anything else. Oh, wow, this is pretty tall. And you do want to make sure that you're just installing these the correct way. And this is going to be the opposite of the bottom. The 2 holes are going to be on the bottom, whereas the 2 holes on the bottom are up top. I know it sounds a little confusing, but it's just the best way I could put it. And now after we have those, man, that was a stretch. We're looking for the A's, which I had put over here, since there are two sets of A's, one for the bottom, one for the top. All right, let's put the A's up top now. And like I said, I'm not going to be using the well, this is much taller than I thought. So I might get a step stool. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to get a step stool or something. I will be right back, guys. Alright, guys, so I ended up grabbing a ladder just because I couldn't reach. So that's one side in. Wow, this tent is massive. Oh, and I did mess up over here, guys. I ended up putting this the wrong side down, but I just fixed it. And then this will be the last A piece that I'll be throwing in here. Alright. So now that's pretty much the frame of the tent set up. We do still have these, which are pretty much the supports of the tent. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the pictures where like they'll have people hanging from the grow tent. This is what makes it possible. These supports. We do have 2 separate supports in here out of 4. Now these are the top supports, and these are the supports that hang below them. I would put these on second and these first, just because these will allow the tent to kind of just sit. Well, they'll allow the supports to sit inside. You can even tell because they're notched differently. One is deeper than the other. That's just so this support will physically sit lower than this one. And this is a F and this is an E. So let me just check how the F's and E's go in place before I fuck this up. Alright, so pretty much doesn't really matter as long as you have 2 on each side. I am going to use a ladder for this because I'm not going to reach. I don't want to. Oh, almost fell. Kind of do want to try and angle these out as much as possible, level these out as much as possible for the most part. And then the I think these are the E's. The E's are the ones that are going to go on top. So and then I will grab another E and place it here. Once you have your E's and F's installed, you're pretty much good to go. I'm gonna put this ladder over here. Actually, I probably shouldn't do. I think I am gonna need it regardless. So the next thing you want to do is we do want to put the top on the tent. So pretty sure this is the spill mat. We'll place that right there. This is the extension skirt. If you want to go with an extra foot, we're not going to need this. So we'll put this on the side as well. It would have been cool to use that, but I don't have enough room. So this is what I originally thought was the spill mat, but turns out it's actually the ceiling for this tent. And wow, it looks very nice. Like I said, the quality on this tent is crazy compared to my other tents. You can just tell everything's thicker, the zipper's bigger. So the front of the ceiling is going to have the logo on the left-hand side. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know how I'm going to set this up, given the space I have. So bear with me here. I'm just going to have to play around with this for a little bit. I might even take half this tent down and then assemble it after. Let's try that just because this is kind of tall and I don't want to fight with this tent. Oops. So. Alright guys, so my phone kind of like bugged out and I didn't like record myself. Well, it didn't record me putting on the top of the tent. It is pretty simple. You kind of just unfold the top, place it on top of the tent and just slide it. Alright guys, so after you have it all set up, you do just want to hook up your zipper in the back. You do want to make sure both zippers kind of like lock into place, and then just go around and zip up your tent. And you do want to make sure that you're getting the zipper underneath and not stuck like that little fabric thing. And here we're going. That's one side, and then while I'm at it, I am going to throw the spill mat inside real quick. And this will be velcroed to the grow tent floor. And don't worry, because this is a 4x4, so it pretty much is, no, wrong side. It all fits. And then you pretty much just want to zipper up the other side. And as you can see, guys, this tent is huge. Like, I was not joking, and this is without the extension on. With the extension, it would be another about a foot tall, but this is it. This is your Gorilla Grow tent. And I am curious, guys. That is a good tent. But yeah, that's how you set up a Gorilla Grow tent. Like I said, I'm sorry you guys didn't see me put it on the top. My phone had a little issue, but other than that, here it is. And stay tuned for the autoflowers I'm going to grow in here. This tent is a little bit bigger than I thought it was, so probably should have grew some more autoflowers, but I'll do it next run. But all right, guys, stay tuned. Subscribe to see me grow in this tent, and thank you for the support.